G'day everybody, how you going? It's Seano here, jumping on for a live emergency round 3 chat. Wasn't really going to do a live stream today, but with all the carnage, and I think there's a lot to talk about, and everyone out there has been so good to me during the preseason, so I thought the least I could do was I wasn't doing anything, so I thought I would jump on and have a chat with you guys, and probably need your help as much as you need my help. So if you're out there, say g'day, say hello in chat. You know I will say it back. Hopefully I've sussed it out, so we're talking in a lot more real time this week. I think last time there was a bit of a delay. That was my fault. I'm sorry about that. I like to try and get your guys' questions basically as soon as you ask them, so hopefully that's happening this time. Before we go on, don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. So if you're watching now or in the future, like the video if you like the video. Well, you might as well like it now because you're going to listen to me gibber on for the next 10 minutes or however long we're here, next 2 hours. And yeah, leave me a comment down below if you're watching this in the future. Tell me what you are doing about all the carnage. So I hope everyone had a good round this round. Now, I know that's not going to be true for some of us. My round was okay. If you haven't already checked out my round review video, which came out last night, go and check that one out. But you can have a quick look here. 1778, which I thought wasn't too bad until I started seeing everybody else's scores. Yeah, there was a few big ones out there, so bit rough. Hey, Cheese, how you going? I didn't see. Why am I not seeing your chat over here in my pop-out chat? Hey, Cheese, how are you, buddy? Good to see you, mate. And who else we got? We got Slippin'. Cheese and Slippin' here. Good reason to use the first boost. Yeah, I'm using a boost. I can kind of show you what I'm thinking. Yeah, fly, Eagles fly. Yep, Cheese. Did you see my video yesterday? I was wearing the Eagles scarf, even though it was like stupid heat over here. Yeah, very, very happy. I tell you what, I was cursing them after the first quarter. I was like, whoever said we'll beat North Melbourne is an idiot. And then we went and won, so I guess I'm an idiot. I was really giving them a hard time in chat. My friends were like, "Oh, you gave them the old what for, Seano," and they and they pulled it out. I was like, "Yeah, I should be the coach. Go down there, give them a talking to, and next thing they won the game." Air Tommy, horror week, Seano. How'd you go? What did you score, Tommy? It is only the second week, but yeah, injuries really hurt. And I want to have a chat to you guys and girls about this. I think my plan, we'll go into the team. You're 1788. We dropped 7th out place. I still think this is a reasonable rank for my team. I'm not totally unhappy with this, but the next 2 weeks I expect to drop even more. So I wouldn't be surprised if I'm around 50,000 come out of the buys. And that's what I kind of wanted to talk to you. Did I make a mistake by not going the non-buy players? Now, at the time, I had the great theory that, when I came out of the buys, I would have all these good players that these other people can't afford. Well, now I didn't really take into account that we're going to have all these injuries, and now all the players that I thought other people weren't going to be able to afford, like Bont and Daicos and maybe a Sinclair, people are just going to be able to pick those up with the money they have. So not only did they get the points on me in the beginning, but now they're going to get the good players that I have anyway. So I'm kind of thinking, we said this was going to be a interesting and hard year to pick what to do with the first, lots of teams out on the early buys, or the first round, with lots of teams on that first round or the round 0, and with the rucks and the new rules and everything. And I think it might have bamboozled a few of us, and I might be one of those ones that got a bit bamboozled. Fiorini, that's what I'm just calling you. Need Watkins and Milan. I don't know if we need Watkins. Me and you left around 650k for next week, or just skip Watkins and bring in 2 Primos and Milan. So I was in the lucky situation that I brought in Milan last week. I made 2 trades last week and brought in Milan and Bont for Goulden and Hayden Young. So I think you need Milan. Watkins is a wait and see. He probably holds his position because of Rosie's out. What do you guys think about that? You think he holds his spot because Rosie's out now? But I want to see what happens when Wines comes back. If he's going to hold his spot, if you know he's going to hold his spot, then he's definitely worthwhile. I was at the other end where I was wondering whether to get him and Cook and only get one primo, but I'm still not sure. It's half the reason I jumped on here to see what you guys think. I've got to do a trades and captains video for everyone out there in the community tomorrow. I want to see what you guys are struggling with, not just what I'm struggling with. Rosie out helps Watkins. I think it did too. Otherwise, I got a feeling he might have been straight out when the good old Ollie Wines comes back. But now, maybe he gets to hold his spot. But can you... I mean, I got the same problem as you. We're just going to call you Ferrarini, even though it doesn't even sound like your name. Or Neo, because it's got Neo in the middle. So, yeah, Bergman is also out for Watkins. Yeah, he never really... The whole I'm going to play in the midfield didn't really happen, did it? Is Bergman injured? Is Bergman injured? Is that what you're saying? All good to wait. Happy to get Watkins if he has another 70 game with Wines in the team. So he'll probably still only go up. How much will he go up? Let's have a look. So say you skip him at 99k for 1 week. Let's have a look, crew. Let's do some stats. Should we get the nerd out? Should we get the nerd Seano out? I got it prepared over here somewhere. Get rid of this. It's a bit loud for you guys. Sorry if I just broke your eardrums. Bergman injured, Port reported, not sure with that. Okay, so it is Monday, so we're not going to see the injury reports tomorrow. That's why I usually do my trade videos on Tuesday, so we can have a look at the injury reports. So we'll have hopefully more details. Jack, why can't we see more of your... Here we go. Supercoach having a hissy fit. So he's got a 45 and a 74. If he gets a 35, he'll go up 43k. If he gets a 70, he'll go up, what's that, another 50k. It's a big jump. It's a big jump if you miss him this week. But I'm kind of in the same spot as a few people out there where I've got the 2 primos to get rid of. I could just go rookies. And the other thing is, it really hurts, is we had no good midfield rookies. So we stocked up on mid prices and guns. I stocked up in the midfield, and now we got good midfield rookies, and all the rookies in the back line are failing. So, in really, I feel safer fielding the midfield rookies now. When you got Murdoch, you got Blamiers. I don't know if I'd want to be fielding Watkins, but Carroll, I don't really want to be fielding him. But you got Smith, so we got 3 rookies now in the midfield that you can field, but. They seem better than the Sarongs and the Selwoods of the world. Maybe it's just a 1 week knee-jerk reaction, but you never know. Petrarca, Rosie, and Selwood have to, as your flex, is stuck with a non-PP rookie to Cherry, Daicos, and Murdoch. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. I had Daicos, and I figured nobody else would be able to get him, but now everyone's going to get him. Still stuck with Hayden Young. You never know, Air Tommy. That could be a blessing in disguise. If they come out and say Young is playing this week or even next week, you might just holding him. I mean, how many trades did you do in the first week? I traded him off to get Milan, which one way means I've got Milan now. But I'm kind of thinking, well, if I had Young, if I had got rid of somebody else for Milan, like I had gone Sharp for Milan or something, if I had a crystal ball, then maybe I would have had another decent player in the team if he comes back this week, which he probably won't. Yeah. So I got Bont last week, and yeah, I do feel unlucky, and I feel my whole strategy is unlucky as well, which it's unlucky, but it could have been other people just had a plan better. I think having like my plan this week, my back line was going to look beautiful. It's going to look like Sinclair, Rosie, Blackiston was out of there. He's in the bin. There was going to be Houston and Worrell. And then in a couple weeks, there was going to be Braun back there or Bruin back there. And then I would have one rookie on the field. Then my back line looks awesome. And my midfield would look awesome too. You know, we would have had Daicos. If we make it look like it should do, would have had Walsh. I would have had Smith, would have had Murdoch just sitting there. You know, I have two good rookies. Like, this is what I'm talking about. I got two. So let's put Bummeers or Murdoch, one of those. So the midfield would have looked stacked. The defenders would have looked stacked. And I would have still had this, you know, a reasonable forward line. And now my defense is in shatters. My forward line's all rookies. And I've got a whole heap of rookies in the midfield that I like, that I can't actually play. Goulden to Malera and Blackson to Fonte. Tommy, I hope I didn't talk you into Malera, because I was keen on Malera, and I told you guys about let's get that video out. We got the video.
Don't worry, Mr. B. I have a cunning plan to solve the problem.
I had a cunning plan to solve the problem and avoided Malera, and at the last moment I chickened out. Thank God I chickened out, because, yeah, he dropped that, what was it, 60 or something? So, at least Fonte got you some points, but, you know, like I said, I'm still a bit worried that Fonte can be up and down. I'm more worried about all the GWS defenders, and that's another thing too. It's up in the air. So I'll show you quickly, guys, what I was thinking, and because I know you guys, everyone's going to have Petrarca, or almost everyone, and everyone's going to have Rosie. And I probably need one of the rookies, right? I need either Cook or Watkins. Now, Cook, the DPP, I think is just too valuable not to get. So, in the long run, he might make less money than Watkins, but the DPP could help me. So, Sharp's injured as well, as far as we know. So, let's drop him as well. And can I actually see what players I want here, or is it not going to, it's got to go too far. So if we get in Cook, and then we move you, so we got someone to flex. Then in defense, I was either going to go Houston or Worrell, but Houston's cheaper, which is the only reason I'm going. And they had that, Worrell had some scans or something, and they reckon he's all right, but no, scares me a little bit. And Houston's that cheaper too, so I don't think I'll be getting... So I could get them both here. I could just like move Grill down to here to the... See, this is there. I can move Grill down to here, and I can get Worrell. And my trades would look like this. Or, I think we... Also looking at the matchups. Like, we saw what Sherry did this week in the matchups. And he's got still got a very good run. So I can afford the big man. If we move you out of here again. I can afford him as a big man and still have some money in the bank and go for another good matchup. He's playing Blackiston this week and he should destroy Blackiston. Or we could try and go Jackson, because he has Richmond and Richmond doesn't have a ruck this week. If I knew that Jackson was definitely going to get DPP, I'd probably do it this way. So let's just do it this way for the moment. So I don't know if I use this opportunity to fix up that issue, my ruck issue, but then I'm stuck with a ruck in my flex, which I don't love. And that's why if Jackson got DPP and I knew he was going to get DPP, I'd do it this way. But if there's a chance he's not going to get DPP, maybe Sherry is the better option. And then maybe neither of them is the better option, and it's better to shore up my defense first, because by by doing that, I'm putting another player like Brune in the midfield, and then I've got two good midfield rookies who are probably scoring higher than my defensive rookies just sitting on the bench. So I'm in two minds, and that's why, well, I'm in a lot of minds. I'm probably got in about 5 minds. That's why I thought I'd jump on and see what you guys think and what you guys are doing and what you guys want me to do in my video tomorrow. You can use Track and Rosie money to get Xeri Bont, yeah, and Daicos and whoever else they want, Holmes or whatever. Then Sherry, who did well. Well, we got another week, and we have to see if he holds his position in Freo, because he's probably got Young's spot. So as soon as Young comes back, he goes out. So you definitely want him to play another week. That's the Freo Sherry, the two Sherrys, the lesser of the Sherrys, or the non-helmeted Sherry, whatever you would like to say. So, hey Corey, how you going? Hey Luke, Rosie, Track, and Parrish to Cook, Sherry, and Sinclair. Cook, Sherry, and Sinclair seems fine. I think Parrish is probably on the chopping block for me next week. Maybe some type of Blackiston and Parrish for... See, the other thing is, who's the defender you want then? You know, if I've got Houston, who is the gun defender that you trust? Nas will be down in price. Nas has come down to 580 with a 127. But, you know, you're not going to get him before his bye. But if he scored 100 this week, he'd drop some more. He'd drop another 15k. He'd be like 560. Is he a target for after the bye? Are we going to think that Lockie Ash is going to be, you know, the main man at GW West now? So glad you went. Thanks, Corey. I'm glad I went with Murdoch over Malera too. It just helps me a little bit with a lot of people who don't, like, even though I told everyone wait on Malera, and now some poor suckers out there, or not suckers, but poor buggers out there who listen to me might have to get Malera, Cook, and potentially Watkins. Now, I apologise for anybody that. Apparently, Seano is a lot less, well, I'd never call myself an expert, but a lot less knowledgeable than what he thinks he is. Can get him next week. Yeah, Slippin', you can get him. You can get the Freo Sherry next week if he does well, and if it looks like Young isn't going to kick him out of the team. Parrish to Cook, yeah. So, Scott Dean, thanks Scott so much. Like, I jumped on today basically just for you guys, basically because I love chatting to you guys, and I wanted to know what you guys are thinking, and I wanted to know what you guys want me to talk about in my trades and captain video tomorrow, and just give me some ideas, because I'm so up in the air with my team. Like I said, I don't know whether I could go, I don't know, with this ruck, chase the points with the ruck, and then go like vice captain and you know, and captain Butters, and chase the points with Jackson's big game against the Richmond? Or do I get Worrell while he's cheap before he goes up to a more expensive, shore up the back line, and just hope? With all these injuries, I'm afraid if McAndrew gets injured, then I'm really in trouble. Maybe, you know, just having Jackson here and praying that he gets the DPP might, you know, get me out of trouble. If there's any more trouble in the next few weeks, there could be a lot of trouble. But Dean, thanks so much for saying you like the channel. I really appreciate it. Rank 426, that's brilliant, mate. Congratulations. That's a really nice rank for this time of the season. What was your secret? Did you skip the bye players, or did you? I assume you probably had Sherry as captain last week. I tell you what, I still think all the ruck scores are down, but like that ruck video did, they're only down by about 5%. Last year, I'm pretty sure Sherry would have scored 220 against. Flynn just looked useless. He could not jump, and he could not wrestle. He can't do either. Now, Sherry's not going to get that every week. Some week he's going to come up against people that jump, but I think he's still going to bang out big scores, and his fixture is so good coming up. I looked at, like, let's have a look at Sheasel just because he's from the same team. I was looking at Sherry over Jackson just because, listen to this. He's got Essendon, so that's Blackiston. He's going to destroy Blackiston. first time he tackles Blackiston, he's going to crawl away off the sideline and cry, I think. Carlton, I mean, Pittner might's been putting up a fight pre-season, and I think did they play a practice match where Pittner did okay? But I still think in the real game, he'll give him a bit of a bath. Brisbane don't really have a ruck. Darcy Fort's not going to do anything. Richmond, well, I don't know if their ruck will be back, but Nank's not going to do much against him either. GWS has got Briggs. Geelong's don't have a ruck. The first time he's got a really full-fledged gun ruck to deal with is Sydney. So it's like he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 easy rounds. I was like, do I just pay the extra 60K? And that's the other thing too. If I get Jackson, he's 60K cheaper. It might facilitate me to do extra stuff next week, but it's going to be a hard watch not having him for those matches. Ned Reeves, cash gen could be good. If you got some way you can get him in, Corey, it could be good. Yeah, I think Jackson against it's going to be someone we've never heard of, right? Unless you're a Richmond supporter. If you're a Richmond supporter, tell me, who are they going to put in the ruck? Apparently, someone said there's no Nank, and someone said there's no Samson Ryan. So who have they got? Who do they have? Are they going to have to play like a forward as a ruckman, like a tall forward or something? So this is why I don't mind the Jackson pick, but then I look at that run for Sherry. And do you really think Jackson's going to do... Sherry's not going to destroy Blackiston? I mean, they're both going to go big, I think. If you've got them both, you're laughing, I would say. Wasn't much news about him getting DPP in recent Twitter posts, so not sure if he's on track. I don't know, how does it count, Cheese? So he's in the centre, at centre bounces. Does that sway it? Does that make it like, he's in the centre anyway, he's doing ruck work? We know he's taking like 60% ruck, according to the stats, at least, like with only, at least, he's 80% of the time on field, and only Sean Darcy's only on, 50% of the time. So he's taking a lot of ruck contests. So that's what I'm saying. If I knew he was going to get midfield, I'd pick him straight away, because I'd take the point loss, and the flexibility for the team would be better. Having McAndrew stuck here, like, how long before we can sell McAndrew? Let's have a look. How long before he gets to like 400K or something? It's not going to tell me. I wish I had that thing where you can put it in and find out. So if he's not scoring a 47, you would think. You figure he gets 80. What do you reckon about around here, around 7 or 8? He's probably 400K-ish if he keeps scoring 80s and 90s. It's quite a long time to have your flex blocked up. Hey, Matty, how you going, buddy? Nice to see you, mate. Thank you for dropping by. No, Larrett, I've got him in quite a few of my draft teams, so that does suck. I also seriously considered him pre-season, having his non-buy, so, not too bad. Jaden Short. He's don't pick him. Well, I wouldn't pick him, crew, but I was scarred from last year, so maybe he'll be all right, but I wouldn't pick him. But the other thing is, it's a good point, though, Cheese. Who do you want in the back line? You guys tell me, who are your predicted top 6 guys at the end of the season in the back line? Take out Rosie now. And I have to admit, Rosie playing in the midfield wasn't lighting the world on fire. He was playing a lot of midfield. But I still think he would have been close to top 6. But who do you guys think are going to be top 6 now? Are we still saying Nas is top 6? Are we still picking the GWS boys? Do we think that Ash and Whitfield, now that you got Fonte in there as well, stealing some points off them, are they still going to be a good chance? Is Worrell going to be a chance? Is Blakey going to be a chance? Like, who do you guys think? Who do you guys think? Oh, by the way, Discord is open. If you want to, if you're not already joined Discord, it's open. If you want to put your team in there, we can put your team up on on the screen and have a chat about it and see how you're going. 117 weekly ranking, Matty. That's why you are a very good player. Seri captain, yeah. Worried in the first quarter. Is that a worry? Like, I watched the Eagles game, and so when North were dominating us, Sherry didn't have much of the ball. And then when North were getting beat, he had a lot of the ball. Does it make sense to anybody else? I just saw every time that Flynn got the ball, Sherry tackled him or crunched him. That's as an Eagles supporter watching the game, I just expected North to get first use of the ball every time because Flynn looked terrible. It was just, I don't know. Well, it's the heat. I've had some people say they think it's the heat. They couldn't handle the running in the heat. I'm not too sure, but I have to admit that I think I got a man crush on Milan Murdoch. He should be. He's with a name like I think he's a superhero. He's been changed. He was 1 week ago. He was on the tools, or 2 weeks ago, and he went into a phone box and he changed into his Superman cape, and now he's the Eagles' best player. Larrard and Worrell maybe being out might save the Malera pick. Yeah, it might, Tommy. I think Malera still had the same role, right? He just took a few less kick-ins than he did last week. He didn't have a monopoly on the kick-ins where Worrell took a few more. They said Worrell was fine, right? But you never believe what the coaches say. They said his scans were all good, but Mills top 6, I think that's a good pick, Corey. I think it's a good pick. Can't get him this week, though, can we, because of the bye? But maybe that's a Blackiston to Mills for me next week. Like, I don't really know what to do with Blackiston next week. I have no idea who I want to pick. And the one thing it makes me lean toward Jackson, even though I think I'm giving away points to Sherry, especially if Sean Darcy comes back and plays. Maybe I'm still worried that they're just easing Darcy back into it. And, he played 50% game on field, like time on field the last 2 weeks. What if he plays 60% next week and then 70% the week after? And, all of a sudden it's like, oh, crap, he's taking 20 points off Jackson and Jackson's getting 100s or, 90s, which is what he did last year when Darcy played in the team. And yet other people have gone Sherry, who's getting 120, 100 to 100, 130 every week. But yeah, did the first quarter worry you guys at all that Sherry that he could have a low game? I mean, and what's a low game for Sherry? Is 105, 110 a low game for Sherry? Would you be happy with that? I think I probably would. If you told me his floor was 105, I'd probably take it. Okay, Cheese, you reckon it's Nass? Can you see my fingers? Nass, Clark, Whitfield, Sinclair. Zorko's a decent pick. Like, I think Zorko, if the value in Houston wasn't so good, I'd definitely be tempted by Zorko this week. Unfortunately, he's such a hothead, but you know he's going to rack up the pill back there. He showed us in the round 1 where he got 135 points or whatever. Why would you go him if you don't think he's a top 6? See, I think Houston could be a top 6. I think he could be. I like your list better. And even the Mills I kind of like better, which is the same. It's more about the money for me. And it was about the money last week too. If he could get close to top 6, excuse me, itchy nose. So yeah, if he could be top 8, I would have it. But is he just gonna? The other thing obviously is Warriors. What happens when it's a bit of an unknown with Howe and Moore come back? Does he still have the keys to the back line and all the kick-ins when Howe and Moore come back? If he does, I'm happy to pick him. If he doesn't, if he gives up 2 or 3 kick-ins a game, 15, 20 points, I don't know. Dean, you reckon it's Sinclair, Nass, Ash, Whitfield, Clark, and being a Lions man, Zorko. 6 on your to be 10th will be 6. Zorko will be 6 to 10th in your opinion down back. Daicos, Houston, and Worrell in the mix too. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping, just saying, that when Moore and what's his face, Howe come back, they push Daicos, Josh Daicos into the midfield like they said they were going to. I mean, any Collingwood supporters out there, would you not say that Collingwood need help in the midfield? I mean, you got a couple of old blokes who, I mean, don't, no disrespect, Pendlebury's an absolute legend, but he's getting a bit old, and they made it quite clear they only want to play him as an impact player kind of the time. You know, DeGoey is not what he used to be. Side bottom is probably getting a bit on the age side too. And so after you go past those guys, who have they got? It goes down to Ned Long. I mean, they need another. I mean, and they got Daicos. So they really got Daicos and a couple of old blokes and a couple of young guys. Very disrespectful to Pendlebury there, but yeah. You think Ash could be D1, D2? They look for him all the time. He does look good. And the Fonty thing seems to be affecting him less than Whitfield at the moment. But I think they can change it any week. Like we've seen so far, Ash had a bad score, now had two good scores. Whitfield's had an okay score, and he's had a couple of average scores. And then Fonty had pretty much 2 scores and now an average score. So I'm going to feel that any of them on any day can drop a bad score, but he still might be one of the best. Yeah, I think that's the problem, Cheese. I don't know. I don't know. And I also have to ask myself, is that 70K going to be able to make, you know, the difference between getting 2 primos? Because let's get the spreadsheet out. Let's get the spread where we got the nerd thing again. Nerd! All right. Well, I have it ready here, crew. Mills probably gets more mid, with Goulden out. That might not be a terrible thing, Rory, maybe. He's pretty good in the midfield, right? Remember that year? How long ago was he scored? He scored 200 once, right, in the midfield? He might not be that same man. So here's my little spreadsheet, crew, from last week. So take out Worrell here. So this is... So where's how much money do I have to start off with? How much money do I have to start off with? We'll just bring it up here. We put the money in here. I've got it all prepared. Is this bright? Just too bright? No, it looks okay. Used to really light my face up like I was. So starting money, if I get Houston this week, this is, so 467, 600. If I do those trades I talked about with Jackson, this is how much money I have. And then if I get Blackiston out and say Parrish goes as well, say there's no injuries, Parrish is worth 334, 600. I can always put this in Discord too if you guys want my dodgy old man spreadsheets. So I would have $1.1 million to spend. So basically $550 per player. I would have $1.1 million to spend next week if I do those 2 trades, which means that's with Jackson. So that's what this is. So $1.1 million gets me 2 550K players, which I think the backmen look like, you know, an Ash is 5. Well, I can't get Ash because he's coming off the bye. You know, a decent backman is 550K. But then who do I get from the midfield who's 550K or whatever? There's no one really. And especially if you take another 70K off that because of Jackson, I can only really get 1 primo, and then I'm going to have about 400K left in the bank. So we do Blackiston of Parrish, and who do we want? say we say Ash. No, we're not going to do Ash because he's coming off his buy. Say we decide to do Mills off his buy. 521, 500 in Mills. Oh, I can't see you guys in your chat here. It's a bit rude of me. Now I can see you guys. I apologize for that. It's very rude. That would leave me I got 580k in the bank. Cheese, you feel like Sherry will be in the higher 120s compared to Jackson's about 110. It's too much of a difference, would not match that disparity in price. Yeah. And see, I guess if I can't really get who I want here for 580,000, I guess if I waited a week, maybe I could get Nas. And who are we saying we think is going to be? Nas, Ash, Whitfield. I just want to hold off on Whitfield. You could get Whitfield really cheap. Like Whitfield could be like at 450 in a few weeks. And so if you could snap up Whitfield at 450 as your last, D6 or whatever, you're going to be super happy with that. So I wouldn't get Whitfield next week. Zorko looks like Zorko will go up in price, right? If he plays, once he plays this week, he must have a low break even, I would assume. He's at 550 now, and he's got a break even of 87, which you assume that he's going to get. So he's going to probably be near 600. And the idea was always to jump on the players when they go down in price. So I want to stick to that idea. So Mills is still reasonably priced, I think, at 521, 500. Plus, he's probably a little bit of a pod. Yeah, Tommy, I think Daicos he scores better in the midfield, right? So I think surely they do. They've got too many mouths to feed back there in that defense, because they're not going to put Moore or Howe in midfield. So surely they want to get Daicos in there, and we've seen how good he can be. Hey Paris, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Thanks for dropping by, mate. How was your week? Yeah, I'm not getting ready Parrish this week, Dean. Next week. No, don't get rid of Parrish this week. He could have another good week. He had one shit week. The problem is, so if we go back in, he stalled we got Parrish so he would give us a reasonable score and go up on money. So he failed in 1 point this week. He did okay last week, but he failed this week. He got a shit score. And he kind of, stalled his cash gen. So if he comes out and gets what are they predicting for him? Predict a score 94, he goes up 27k. And then he's only going to go up little bits. It's going to be a very slow burn after that. So you don't get rid of Parrish this week. I would think we've got bigger problems. But next week, say if he got a 60 next week, he might as well get rid of him. Because your cash gen is stalled and he's not there doing... You might, even if you get a rookie for him, what's the point of having a 300k player who's getting you 67s when I could have Murdoch on the field, or a Belnias can get me the same, or get me, potentially more. They both got more than him this week, so you're better off having a rookie there. You might as well drop him down to Watkins, which I might even do, even if Watkins jumps up to 150k, just so... Like I said, I've got too many good rookies now in the midfield. All of a sudden, the rookies are coming out of our backside in the midfield, which they weren't there. Yeah, also, I'm thinking the same thing. McCluggage in probably 3 weeks' time. If he needs... Because it's his first score, though, you'd need it to drop... You need him to drop like an 80 now, or a 90 when he comes back. And then he's going to be very low. Because after that one score drops out... If he came out and got 120, he actually probably wouldn't drop that much. He'd drop one hit of 30k and then he would go back up again. He might get to 580 if you're lucky. But if he could come and get an 80 to 100, you might get him at 550. And I've got my eyes on that as well. So with these, so the Jackson, I've got 467 I will have. So, I mean, it's a lot of money, but I can't do anything about it. I'm just gonna have to wear it. I mean, it'd be a lot worse. I looked at my team when I got Watkins instead of getting in, instead of getting in Jackson, I got Watkins, and I had like almost 800k in the bank. So 467, 600, or if I went the other way and got Sherry, update trade, and we will see if we can, nope, not for you. When I do this, I can't really see you guys chat, so I have to kind of go back and forth. If I got Cherry, I'd have 391. Let's see if I like the look of that in my team. The other thing is, do we have any worries about that first quarter of Sherry? What happens when Sherry comes up against a good ruck? Does it make any difference? I don't think it does, really. I think he's still going to get enough points for his tackles and stuff around the ground. He did get a lot of possessions, though, this week. Hey, Mass, how are you? The only thing I would say, Mass, as long as you don't have bigger problems, because having Lindsay as a non-playing player come out of the buys, having a West Coast player is the best. West Coast, Melbourne and St Kilda, for the first half of the season, I assume for the rest, I looked at the first half of the season, and West Coast almost always play on a Sunday. So after you come out of the buys, I'm happy to leave Lindsay there and solve my other problems. If you've got no other problems and you've got a loophole somewhere else, I would say fine. But I'm happy to leave Lindsay there. Hopefully he gets back in the team at some point, and use him as my loophole coming out of the buys. If you've got absolutely no other problems, and you can bring him up to someone really good, like if you could get Lindsay up to Houston or something like that, or a Worrell or a Suna, an Ash or someone, well, I guess that's fine. But yeah, just don't forget, I was a bit worried that I might come out of the buys. I thought maybe we might have no injuries and I come out of the buys with no loophole. Well, that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. But, yeah. What do you reckon? Does the team look better like that? So I would have 390k then. If we put that in the, 391, 500. If we put that in the nerd sheet or the spreadsheet, 391, 500 means the week after, if I get rid of Blackiston, and I get Mills, if we just take this out, we don't know who we want. I would have 1.2 million to spend next week if I got rid of Parrish and Blackiston. And I'll tell you what, if Parrish comes out and gets 100, he might save himself for another week. Go up a little bit more, get a decent score. But I don't know who out there, Essendon fans. You're an Essendon fan, aren't you, Paris? You got some Essendon supporters out there? What's the deal with Parrish? Or is it the deal with Brad Scott? Is that the problem? Like, Jesus. Like, wasn't he supposed to be a shoe-in for, like, at least, like, an 80? You know, all the centre bounces and stuff. Yeah, Paris, that's what scares me. His fixture is his fixture's so good to like round 9, not just the next like a lot of weeks. He's got a great fixture, and he's that captain choice. Like, it really hurt me. Like, I still got Bont's captain this week, but the people that had Sherry, that's an extra 61, 120 points. It's nice. The worst in AFL history. Yeah, a lot of people unhappy with. I was watching Joe from the Centre Bouncer. He's a bit pissed off at Brad Scott as well. I was watching his round review. He's an angry man with Brad Scott, and what, you're going to play all your good players, give them 50% time on field, except for Merritt now because you're afraid he's going to leave. Is that the game plan that you're talking about? Shameful and embarrassing. Jeez, you're also, that sounds like you're also a Don's man. So if I have $1 million next week, it sounds like a lot, but it's actually only enough to get me one primo. Yeah, sorry, Corey, 58 points. It's still, to me, though, look, 58 points makes me a 18, gives me an 1830. Those 50 points could have, would have held my rank. And this is the bad week. Oh, look at this week. This week is I'm predicted to get like 1,600 this week. And so last week wasn't even that bad. And I just got punished. So let's set up the team, how my team's going to look this week. Who do I feel? I feel Murdoch over Carroll every day of the week. Put the vice captain on Sherry and the captain on Butters. I'm predicted to get 1641. Now, we know predictions don't matter a lot, especially when they're giving like your rookies. How much does he reckon? Still reckons Murdoch's going to get a 51. Probably Devin Robinen's only got 100 2 weeks in a row and reckons he's going to get a 40. This is why you can't pay too much attention to your... I kept on having people in Discord saying, what's your prediction? And it doesn't matter. Like, the score will be higher than this. Hopefully. Well, it better be, but not by much, maybe. With the worst game plan. I thought you were going to say a worst team, and I was pretty unhappy with the Eagles, I have to admit, in that first quarter. Seano doesn't mind a bit of a swear when watching the TV, let's face it. And when watching the football and it's not going well. The Eagles were copying it. I literally sent a message to my friends saying, whoever said that we could beat North Melbourne needs their head read. I sent that exact message after the end of the first quarter, and then we beat them, so I guess I need my head read. But we looked bad. We looked really, really bad in that first quarter. And then the kids, though, for me, the shining light was seeing Duffman, the Cooper Duff Tyler, who looked amazing. And honestly, I know he's a young kid, but I know you want to ease him into it, but geez, I'd love to see them just get rid of Flynn and put Duff Tyler in the ruck. He's better. He's better at his age, and he's a pretty good forward too. So, I would love to see, now the Eagles really got to hunt, I think, a big monster ruck, and they can combine Duff Tyler with a monster ruck, a bit like the Jackson, Darcy combo. A monster ruck that's tall, a big, huge tall guy, and then you got a mobile and a tall guy, and hopefully he can be a little bit mobile as well, and then that would be awesome. And Milan Murdoch was just amazing, and Devin Robertson looks brilliant. It really was the kids that did it for us, and the new players, which made me really happy. As for game plan, I think the Eagles are like a soccer team where you'll run around and try and get the ball, but and hopefully you kick a goal. But Essendon, I have to admit, I didn't watch too much of that game, but it was probably didn't sound too great. That goal he kicked, Cheese, was brilliant when he just grabbed it and spun around and banged it through. He's a good pickup. I hope he stays. Honestly, I don't give a shit if Harley Reid goes. Who wants Harley? Does Essendon want Harley Reid? Who wants Harley Reid? Selling him cheap. You could have him cheap. And we'll keep Duff Tyler, and I think we'll keep Dersma. Dersma can boots goals from 50 metres out. He's another kid that's going to be good. What's the advantage of having a vice captain? So, Jamie, what you want to do every week, somebody who plays an early game. So, like this week, if you're looking at my team, so somebody who plays an early game, or an earlier game than one of your guys that you've got out on the bench. So, during the bye rounds, when there's a bye player, it doesn't really matter. But as soon as the season starts, so I was talking about Lindsay, right? So, Eagles play last game almost every week. So, what you do is you pick a vice captain in an early game, like a Friday or a Saturday. So in this case, I'm going to pick the Saturday game because I know we've got we can fall back on either the bye players or the West Coast on Sunday. So you put the vice captain on like a Sherry, and then you wait and see. And if Sherry scores a really big score, all you do is you put on the non-playing player here, either a bye player or the player from, the club that, like Lindsay's not playing. So I'd put him on and I'd make him my captain. So in this case, say you would chuck on Noah Anderson, you'd make him your captain, not Parrish, and you would like emergency Tanner Bruin. So you still get Tanner Bruin's score, even though he's on the field, but now it's locked in as Sherry's score. This is what everyone did this week, and you get the 199. Whereas if Sherry shits the bed and gets a 90, then you just go and have your captain. You keep your captain on Butters, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So this week I'm going to have Sherry into Butters. If Sherry gets more than like 125, 120, you lock it in. More than 120, you almost always lock it in. So many people have gone for the big scores and they're like, hey, like last time Butters played Eagles in the practice match, he absolutely slaughtered us and got like a 160, but it was a practice match. But even then, if Sherry gets you a 120, you like just lock it in, take it, because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like the first week, someone tags Butters or somewhere, or he gets injured or something. Touch wood, we don't need any more injuries to our primos. So that's what you do, buddy. It's like a free hit at your captain score. And so that's why you have a vice captain. Every week you want to try and do it. They call it the loophole. So have a loophole option where you can have a free hit at your captain score. So you get two goes at getting a decent captain score. And all the good coaches will do that every week. And last year, it was one of the reasons I had such a good score, because I had Gawn in my team, who I kind of wish I had again this year. And Gawn smashed it the first few rounds, and I had him as vice captain. I think he played quite a few Friday night games. I had him as vice captain, and I got some big scores from him, which really helped me push against the pack. So that's how you work your vice captain, and that's why you have it. So I hope that helps, Jamie. But yeah, it's very important to make sure you set up your vice captain and your captain and your loophole properly. Yeah, Corey, we should have gone. I mean, I guess he thought he could get a premiership there. And he didn't play in one, but I guess he was out of team that got a premiership. But I would have loved to have him a few years ago. Hopefully Essendon can break their 15-game losing streak. Kangas fans think this week is an automatic win somehow. Mass, I thought Kangas were going to slaughter the Eagles. I tipped Kangas. Eagles are my team. I tipped against them. After the first quarter, I'm like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen. Like, I honestly didn't think the Eagles were going to win a game at all this year. I didn't think we would win one game. And so there's hope out there for Essendon. They're licking their wounds now, the Kangas fans, but, never say never. In theory, they probably should have beaten the Eagles. They're a few years ahead of us in their development of their young kids, and they've probably got a few better older guys. The older guys aren't as old, and they're going very well. Why can't I go Luke Jackson? I can go Luke Jackson, Paris. I'm just worried about the differential and score. Like, was it you saying? You mean not for captain though, you mean? But I can go Sherry or Jackson, or I can go whoever I want. But as for my trades, I'm thinking this is probably a good opportunity to just safeguard myself. All the injuries we've seen, not to mention the rucks are jumping into each other. Like, if McAndrew went down next week, it'd be a disaster. Might as well lock in 2 big primo rucks, and then I just have to deal with McAndrew in ruck in the flex until the time comes. And if I could, like I said, if I could be guaranteed that Jackson was going to get DPP, I'd probably pick Jackson, because I think you could still have him in the midfield, and then you could have like a Sherry and a Grundy. But if you get locked into Sherry and Jackson and you can't get another ruck until like later in the season, I don't want another ruck in the flex until basically the finals. So you can change captains after the early game. You can change right up until the lockout, mate. So just make sure your vice captain is on the one person from the early game and the captain is on from the later game. So don't mistake and actually have if you've got your captain sitting on, this week it's Geelong and, if Tanner Bruin is over here, if you don't pay attention to your team and you've got the captain sitting on Tanner Bruin and he plays on Friday night, well, then it's Tanner Bruin. It's locked in. So right now, as soon as you make your changes, before Thursday night or whatever the game is, make sure, like I always do it early so I don't actually make a mistake like this. So I'd go do it now. But I don't know, as soon as you've done your trades and locked them in. So these are going to be mine. I know Sherry plays early and I know Butters plays afterwards. And I also know means you have to pay attention. It means on Saturday night you have to go and you have to look at the scores and you have to see what Sherry scored and you have to make the decision whether you're going to swap one of these bye players onto the ground and make them, or here I've got 2 on the ground already, so I can just easily go. So you can already set it up, right? I can just do it this way and then I'm going to get Sherry's score no matter what. And then if Sherry fails, which if he fails against Blackiston, I'd be pretty shocked. It's just going to be he's going to score, but it's just a matter of how much is he going to score. So if he came out and got a 105 to a 110, I'd probably give Butters a go against the Eagles. If he comes out and gets a 120 plus, I'd probably just leave it there. And then, but yeah, whatever you do, if you've got the captain once that team plays, if the captain's on there, it's locked. It's locked. So make sure your captain is either on someone that plays on a Sunday, and it's always good to do it on a reasonable player. Don't have it on some rookie. Have it on like I have, it's Butters. Then if for some reason you have an emergency on Saturday night or something and you have to run out, you accidentally, you're watching your football team and you choke on your hot dog or something. Touch wood that doesn't have anyone. That it's already locked in. It's already not locked, but you've got it set up. You want to make sure your team's set up in advance, and the same with your trades. Don't make sure long before Thursday night comes around that at least you've got the trades you think you're doing set up. So, if disaster happens, at least you're okay. Good afternoon, Pure. How are you, good sir? No, I haven't considered keeping track and trading Blackiston instead this week. If anyone knows in my Discord, I'd love to be able to make your questions come up on the screen down the bottom like some of the other content creators do. I don't know how to do that. So if you're a content creator out there and you're watching this in the future, could you hit me up in either my Discord or in the comments down below and tell old man Seano how to do some IT work and get that to happen. I would love it, if your questions come up down the bottom here so everybody can read them, because I know once we release the video, it takes almost 24 hours before people can read the chat. And it's just like me, if I don't actually read your question out, God knows people don't know what I'm talking about. So, Blackiston he's going to get destroyed, but he still only has to get a 43 or 43 to make some money, and he's a playing player. So I need as many playing players on the field as I can. It's going to be rough as it is, so getting rid of a playing player for a player that's keeping another player off, I might as well take the small bench, Track's not going up any money, so get rid of Track. I'll take the 6K. That 6K might be the difference between the player that I really want and the player I don't. Plus, Blackiston, he might, by some miracle, get a 80 or a 90. I don't know how. He could get a 30 as well and go down in price, let's be honest. But I'm willing to give him a chance that he can get a what's he need? a 43. I'm willing to give him a chance, and at least it's a score on the field, especially this week. So that's why, unless someone told me track was only going to be out 3 weeks, but they're saying 4 to 6. So 4 to 6, I think, better to get rid of him this week. And, you know, I'll deal with Blackiston next week and pray that he can get me some type of score. Any score. Just go up to 6K. Just don't get a 30. Just don't get a 30. So the only reason I would keep track is if I thought he was going to be... If he's a 3-weeker, I'll keep him. If he's a 4-weeker, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to not have. Plus, he's on his bye this week, so it's a perfect time to get rid of him. You know, I don't see the point of keeping track this week and get rid of him next week. He's on his bye this week. You might as well get rid of him and get a playing player. Especially if you're like me and you have... This is my worst bye round, where I have... Out of primos, I've got 1, 2, 3... We had 4, but track is out now. So we had 4 now. So I had 4 primos out, and now I've only got 3 out. So this could help me get a better score this round than what I would otherwise. So I have no intention of keeping track unless they say it's 3 weeks. If it's 3 weeks, I'll deal with it. I'll just keep him. So what are you doing pure next week then? Are you selling track next week, or do you have big... I understand keeping track if you need all the rookies and you don't... but even then, I'm going track to Cook. Look at how disgusting this forward line looks. Sheasel, Flanders, yay! You got Philippou, Cook, Marshall, and Robertson. And the only one I got to come on is Buderick. And Lombard, Mr. 20 himself. So this is a nasty looking forward line, even when we come out of the buys. But again, just like at least the defenders, I think we got choices. I don't even know who I want in the forward line. I think the best pick in the forward line is probably Graham Myers. Is that a big call? I heard DR talking about him being he's a pod. I don't really think he's a pod. I think he's probably almost our best option of our high-priced, like, primo forwards is Graham Myers, and I don't really want to pay up for him. Yeah, Corey, definitely take Windsor into next week. Again, he's going to make you money. He could get a decent score. He's, like me, like, I think Windsor's got a better chance of getting a good score than Blackiston. At least he's not going to get crushed and sat on by Sherry. I think he's got a reasonable chance of getting a decent score. I think you ride that out. I really regret not going guns and rookies now. Let's bring it up. Where is it? Let's make the corrections now, crew. Have I got it here somewhere? Supercoach plan. This was the plan which we made last year. Let's correct it for next year. We're already screwed up this year. Guns and rookies, no more than 1 mid-price on each line. Well, we messed that up in the... Look what... If we had to listen to our own rules, look how we would have done. Guns and rookies, well, we wouldn't have had Blackiston. You know? We could have had no more than 1 mid-price on each line. So we did kind of stick to that with Blackiston, but we wouldn't have... You know, we might not have had him at all. No more than 2 gun rucks. Well, we didn't do that, and we're paying for that. And no more than 550k player in each line. Well, we didn't do that either. You know, and hold primos don't sideways, that's 5. And try for 18 primos. So I think we need to, next year, we really need to go for the guns of rookies. We really need to listen to this. You know, we should have dropped Young before the start of the season when we heard he had a bit of a twinge. We was in and out of the team. We'll start 2 gun rucks next year, no matter what. We learn our lesson there. This one, no more than 550k. I think we can break that one a little bit, depending on who it is, and starting them is not too bad. So I'm going to say 600k. I'm going to give myself a little bit more leeway. Hold primos, no sideways. Well, we're not doing that this year. We haven't done that, so that's good. So we're going to save that again for next year. If I had to listen to my own rules, we'd be doing a lot better. Bring in Daicos and Houston this week. Yeah, nice, Matty. That's, again, makes me jealous that I thought I was going to have Daicos when a lot of people weren't. And now people with a really good score like yours are just going to bring him in. Makes me think my whole don't worry about the players on the buys, you'll catch up, is not going to work this year. Which means my overall ranking, I'm a little bit worried now. It's okay now, but I think it might be a little bit hard for me to catch the top players. I assumed that when I came out of the buys, I'd be like 500 points behind, 400 to 600 points behind. I'm already 500 points behind, after one buy with 2 more to go, and the next one's the worst one. So, yeah. Get Bontin, another one pure. Yep, you can get Bontin. It's not going to be a big... with all these, I think a lot of people are going to use their Rosie and Petrarca money to get the Bont. Using track to get X, then Rosie to have a crack at Bont next week. Yeah, steady. Yep. If I was you, I'd be doing the same thing. Yep. Again, it makes me want to, vomit in my hat and then eat it. But yes, I would do the same thing, and I recommend doing that yourself. Bont looks awesome, and it was nice having him in my team this week, and I regret fading him at the end of at the beginning of the season. Cheese is a world where you avoid Houston and take the hit in the black line for the next couple of buy rounds and have more money to spend on a mid like Max Holmes, Dawson type. Well, the problem is as well, Cheese, I got no room in the midfield. There's no room. So I don't want to be playing Sarong. I mean, maybe Sarong and Grill on the field, where I'm quite happy to have Blamiers and Murdoch on the field at the moment. And I can't even get all them on the field. So I thought about, instead of going a Sherry, getting Holmes. I could get Holmes this week. I really like Holmes. But I figure I'm just going to have to do something about the back line first, because my midfield is already, if we take this off, my midfield's already quite powerful. It's powerful. So we got, and then there's midfielders coming up like at a reduced price. Like Holmes isn't going down. I got to pick off the midfielders at the cheap price. So we're looking at McCluggage is the first one. If McCluggage can drop, he'll be the first one I pick up for maybe, even that could be Parrish. If I could hold if Parrish can get a 90 next week, get a 90 and kick his cash gen back in, and then maybe get a 80 or a 90 or 100 the week after. And someone like a McCluggage can get a 80 to 100, or like just 105 maybe. Then in a few weeks, he could be at 400 if I was really, really lucky. And McCluggage could be at 550 or 560, and it could be like a 150 or 100k jump. So yeah, I think at the moment, I still think Houston's could be okay, and I think he could go big. So I'm willing. I need to shore up the back line. I mean, imagine how bad this back line looks without Houston there. Like Blackiston is my number 2. Like, ooh. So eventually in round 6, I'll be able to put Bruin back there. So next, hopefully by round 6, it'll look like Sinclair, Houston, somebody good, Bruin and 2 rookies. And I'll have to live with that. I really wanted to only have 1 rookie. My plan was to have Rosie here, and then Bruin and Worrell, and just have 1 rookie in the background. And that looked really good. I've got this really strong midfield and a really strong back line and an average midfield. But now with Rosie out, it just like really hurts. So now I've got a much weaker forward line, but we're not worried too much about the forward line because the rookies seem to be scoring as much as the primos. I'm worried about why I've got Grill and Sarong on the field. Other people have got Lockie Ash that's scoring 130, and I've got dudes that are scoring 48. Where here in the midfield, like I can't even get Murdoch scoring 90s and 100s, and I can't even get him on the field. That's why when I kill Parrish next week, I might even move Grill into the midfield and do it that way. Blackiston could even survive, or I could do 2 hits that way. Like Grill goes into, Parrish dies, Grill goes into the midfield, and then I try and upgrade 2 spots in the back line, but I don't think I'll have enough money. Ash Nass. Yeah, so I'm honestly, I think I'm going to take the roll of the dice that Houston can be as good as those guys. I mean, I had a look at Houston, and I know he's at a different club now, but let's do it on DFS. He's got a history of being, he can be top 6 if he's as good as what he was at Port. I mean, so let's just ignore last year completely. So even go back. So let's go 2024. Look at this string of games here. You know, these are, I mean, 90s, 115, but he's got 170, he's got 148, he's got 141, he's got 120, and he's got his floor, I mean, he's got a 59 to 60 there too, but I'm looking at these ones. He doesn't take many kick-ins here. Let's take out the ones where he takes less than 3 kick-ins. So I'm assuming he's staying the kick-in man. So all of these games he's taken more than 3 kick-ins. He's going at 110. Including some of the games. He must have played the midfield or something here. So at 110, while taking kick-ins, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. But will he perform like that at Collingwood once the other players come back? I'm not sure. But at least he's doing it. G'day, Mr. VIP Pressure Washing. How you going? Is also... I'm not sure that I really want Mills, but we will see. No. I mean, yeah, that's just it. There isn't someone in the... I think one more week of data in the back line will be nice. I'll take the week of data and see who really... Zorko is cheap, but he won't be cheap next week, Pure. I'd have to pay $5.50 for him. So I'd have to bank that Zorko was going to well perform out, Houston for the money. And he might, but he might not too. Why is there too many mids? Because I want Blamiers and Murdoch on the field, because instead of these shit mids. Because these mids are going to score more. I mean, these rookies are going to score more than these rookies. So I want to get these rookies off the field, and I want to get these rookies on the field as quickly as possible for the moment. That's what I'm saying. You know, you don't want Sarong scoring a 48 when I could have Murdoch get me a 92 here, and you know, a Mills, a Ash, a Houston, a Worrell, anybody get me 120 here. I'm losing 60, 70 points, 80 points by having not having the good mids on the field, not the good rookies on the field. Houston looks fitter this year. He looked good. I like the fact he had the ball in hand. I like the fact he's taking kick-ins. I'm going to take a swing at Houston at this price. I think the value... There's just too much value to go. If it fails, it fails. But the value, I think, is there. And I think there is a world where he can be a top 8 defender. So for the moment, bank the cash. Have a look next week. I mean, I could even get... Nass, if I could hold off, maybe Blackiston gets one more week of reprieve and I get Nass the week after. You never know. Same old. If it's the same old Houston, yeah, it's a waste. I'm basically buying in a Jaden Short from last year or whatever. I'm buying in another mid-pricer. I understand that, Cheese. Thank you for trying to talk me out of doing my dumb stuff. But I think I'm going to do the dumb, risky move. He's the one that I'm pretty sold on. Like I said, I do like Worrell though. If I knew Worrell wasn't injured, I would seriously consider doing even both. But yeah, if I didn't have to get Cook, I'd be tempted to get Worrell as well. If I didn't believe that I needed Cook, if I could do 4 trades this week, if Boost made you do 4 trades, I'd be doing Blackiston up to Worrell. Hey Mass, how are you? Late season upgrade. I hope not if I'm buying him now. I hope he's going to be there for at least until, well, the finals, league finals. Be a luxury trade. Malera, Mass, I was all over it. I was going to be... See, the thing is, Mass, it wasn't just one game. I looked at Malera's... Like, it was over a 3-game sample size where he smashed it, and then he just shat the bed when Seano said he was going to get him in. Like, it wasn't just a one... I did this before. It wasn't just a 1 game. Yeah, he's only played 1 game there this year. But the last 3 games he's played, and he's got 100. His last 3 games he's played. So last game last season, I know it's last season, takes the kick-ins, he gets 109. He comes out and plays a practice match, plays that role, gets 114. Comes out and plays last week, gets 100, well, the week before, plays 100, gets 142. That's 3 matches in a row, and that's the data I was going on, and that's why I was keen on him. And then he comes out and gets a 61. You know, his efficiency rate went from 87%, 96%, 94%, and then he shat the bed and went to 68%. And he took less kick-ins. He only took where are the kick-ins? He took 2 kick-ins. Like, he went from 7 the week before to 2. So, I don't know. But I was high on him. And the only reason I chickened out is because I wanted to see one more week and see, you know, how he did. I'm glad I did, but I was going on 3 weeks of data. And the data lied. The data lied. Data. Tom McCarthy has been okay so far, yep. Yeah, geez, you say you don't think it's dumb to go Houston, you're probably getting him. It is a good combo, and Cheese, and this is why I went live today. I want these kind of combos for my video. If you guys, please check out and like the video too tomorrow. If you haven't already liked today's video, please like the video. Desmond, I'm looking at you. And it's a running joke, my friends. If otherwise, watch the trades and captains video tomorrow and see what you think. But this week can't play Cook or Grill. You can't play them because you've got a full team, Corey, you mean? You can't get them on Nass, Ash, and Whitfield. Well, Cheese, at the end of the year, I see my Seano's dream defense would be Sinclair, still got Houston. Then it would be somewhere, like Ash, Nass, Whitfield, and like a Mills or whoever. I mean, that would be fine. I'd be happy with that, you know. And as long as Houston is capable of those spike scores, I understand if we looked at those, he can drop you an 80 or a 90. But if I can get him at 430k, and he can drop a 120 or a 130, or even bigger, you know, we saw he got 140 and 170 a few years ago. You know, if he can drop a big score every couple of weeks and his floor isn't too bad, if he averaged 100, I'd be very happy. you know, and then I could, in the meantime, he'll just hold up there, get me between a 90 to a 110, hopefully, and then allow me to get some really big guns in the midfield. And once we know who's going to be the forward picks, once the DPP comes around and we see if like Took Miller gets a forward status or whatever, or who the forward guys are going to be, because we got no idea. Like I said, Graham Myers seems like the best choice in the forward line at the moment. I don't know anybody else. So, maybe Rankinine. Maybe Rankinine is worth a pickup. And now we don't have as many on the round 12 bye. Maybe we can get, and we're not getting Worrell. Maybe Rankinine can be a pick, but I think he'll go down in price a little bit. So, yeah, well, we're already 5 trades in after 2 weeks, so wasting trades. I was going to try and save trades too this year. So bad, it's like, I know, right, mate? I had all this planned. My backline was going to look awesome this week, and it just doesn't. It just looks pathetic. I just imagine Sherry just sitting on Blackiston, like tackling him and just sitting on him and just laughing, and he like, struggling like a little kid, like an older brother does to a younger brother, you know, just sits on him and he can't get up. That's what I see when I see this week in my brain of when I'm seeing Essendon play North. That's what I'm seeing. I'm just seeing Sherry sitting on Blackiston, and he's waving his little arms. He's like, "Let me up," and then Sherry's just laughing at him and saying, "Nah, maybe later." So yeah, I would like my team to look a lot better. Did anyone put their team in Discord? Did anyone actually put their team in Discord? I know Michael and my mate Michael here. Oh, it's a bit blurry. There we go. He put his team in, and he said he is going to Rosie to Murdoch. Yep, you need Murdoch if you don't have him. Track to Marshall, which I thought he meant the other Marshall, but obviously he means Todd Marshall, which is good. And Blackiston to Houston, which I think are all very reasonable trades for him. Sinclair, McKercher. What happened? McKercher kind of played the back role. Took some kick-ins and stuff, but didn't score that great. I mean, again, I watched the game, but I was really worried. I told the story on my round review video. I went into the last game last week, and I had my opponent had. I'll show you guys. My opponent had. No, Seano. Oh, yep. So, game day. Lost every single league match except the one that really matters to me. This one, 178 to 172. So coming into this last couple day, match, he was ahead by 70 points, and he had McKercher, and I had Robertson and Murdoch. And basically, I had to gain those 70 points and then go past it. And then it actually was really tight until the last quarter, and then they kind of kicked away. McKercher kept on getting a little bit more, and I was gradually winding him in, and it was quite exciting. The game was exciting as an Eagles supporter to watch. Plus, watching my team come back as well, my fantasy team come back was kind of exciting too. I was very excited. And it was a good day. Not only did I win there, but I managed to get this match where now that leaves me. Where does it leave me now in the leagues? So in the league I really care about, I'm coming 4th on 8 points. We had a few good, there's a few. I got a guy. I actually don't know this guy, but my mate Dave here, my mate, he got 81 round 2 rank. He's overall ranked 4,099. He went and he's gone the no early buy player route, except for a couple. He got Bont in, but besides that, he doesn't have many. He's got Sinclair and Bont, and he had Petrarca and Flanders, but that was it. He has no other early buy players, and so far it's really paying off for him. But an 81 rank, that's really good for him. Well done, Dave. Nice work, mate. I need him killing unknown. Yeah, this week, I think Jackson could almost score the same as him. But the way I'm looking at it too is that down the track, Sherry's run is so good that maybe that extra 70k is worth, over 8 or 9 rounds, is worth 200 points, 300 points. Once again, if I knew that Jackson was going to be DPP, I'd take the hit because I could put him in the midfield later. But I also figure if I want Jackson later, I can get Jackson later, right? If I want Jackson later, I can get Jackson later. I don't want to be wasting any more trades, but it looks like we'll be doing another 2. No. Oh, you get the, yeah. So that's what I'm thinking, Cheese. That's what I'm afraid of, that if I mean, what are you going to do with McAndrew then? You're putting McAndrew on your bench. You got a rookie that's getting you 80k on the bench, which is what I'm trying to avoid. Like, I'm trying to get my rookies that are scoring good off the bench and trying to get the ones that are scoring shit on the bench. Yeah, and that's why I don't love it. But I figure it's till I sell McAndrew. And McAndrew's just there to make money. So he gets 4 or 5 weeks, right? So maybe around 7 or 8. If he keeps this up, an 80k player is going to be worth, what, 400k or something like that, 450. Sell him and get somebody with DPP, or get somebody who's a lot more flexible. I don't like it there either. And then that's a luxury trade too. Get near the end of the season, if you want it to win your leagues, or if you're pushing to finish in the in the top 100 or so, then you can get in a Grundy or somebody, whoever you want. But even the way I've had the team set up at the moment, even with Braun back there, has been very limiting to what I can do. And that's why I wanted to get Cox, instead of going straight over to another gun forward, get Cook, not Cox. And so now I've got the DPP to move my team around a little bit more. And hopefully in round 6, Marshall gets DPP, Devon Robertson gets DPP, Philippou gets DPP, Buderick gets DPP, Bruin gets DPP. So my whole forward line should have DPP, hopefully. The back line should stay pretty much the same, but I'm hoping that there'll be, that Bruin can go on the back line and shore that up. It may be even Marshall, one of these guys, but they're doing good in the forward line, so I don't know if I'd move them out of the forward line, but hopefully almost the entire forward line will have DPP. Flanders will get DPP. So that will be coming out around 6. Should be a little bit more flexible. So having not been able to move them through the flex is not ideal. Versus Mitch Edwards, if he's going to have a spike score any week, it should be this week, right? Against Geelong. Do you think he'll get forward DPP? Do you think Murdoch will? Let's have a look at his heat map. Oh yeah, looking at that, he might. That would be awesome. That's what we really need, some mid forwards, and to have. So I guess once round 6 comes along, we might be a little bit more helpful. Does that mean maybe I cannot go? Is not going Cook giving away money? What happens if we don't do that, crew? Sweet. Round 6. Where are you now? 2. Plus, I'm looking forward to round 5 and 6 because it's going to let me know where my team's at. Am I in 70,000th spot and got 800 points behind the people in first spot and got 0 chance of coming top 5,000 or something? I thought my team was going to look better than other people's teams, and I got a feeling it's not going to look. It's going to be pretty vanilla and pretty average in round 5 and 6, and it's just going to be a matter of same as everybody else. I'm going to have to try and trade my way and fight my way back into the top 10 or 20,000. Yep, so that's fine. That's good. And looking at that heat map, I can see why. It looks like he's got a very good heat map. So it looks like he's mostly up that high forward. What we're going to do, let's undo. Confirm. So what if we went Petrarca? I don't like any of these forwards, but I think on last year's form, I think he'll be cheaper though. I think we'll get him much cheaper. What's his break even this week? Break even 110. So potentially, if I really wanted him, I could get him next week. Yes, I don't think that is a move. I don't think that is a move. And then can I still afford to get who I want in the ruck? Yeah, I could still afford to get. The big man. So then I would have 41k in the bank. My forward line would look a little bit more okay. My back line would still look a bit shit, or a lot shit. And then would be there. So the thing is, do I think Myers can smash out? I think he's just as likely to get an 80 or a 90, and Cook can get a 60 or a 70. So I don't know. I think I'd prefer to get him for 450. I think I'd wait for him to come down to 470, 480 maybe, and then get him. Thanks, Cheese. Thanks, Cheese. Supercoach chat. DPP watch list after round 2. Josh Rochelle, yeah, makes sense. Brisbane Neil, Carlton, Collingwood. Okay, that's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. We can have a look at that. Penbury, Harriman, Crespo, Essendon, Dawson Sharp, yeah. It's a watch list. Just a watch list. Oh, they give him ticks, okay. Murphy Reed, yeah. Tanner Bruin, they're saying maybe. You better get it. I'm depending on him getting it. Tuke Miller-Ford, maybe. Will Powers a lot. Caniglio. Corey McKirch, a bit. Luke Power at defense. Go all the way down to Eagles. There's lots there. Anyone wants that, go there to my Discord and check it out. There's a lot to look at there. Yo, add forward to tick. That could be a sneaky pick when the time comes around. That could be. I didn't even think that was a possibility. Really? Yo, add forward. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take Yo if he gets in the forward. I know he's held together with sticky tape, but it's really interesting. Are there any other names that jump out and grab me here, which I didn't really think? Add defense for Vermeers. That's nice. Yep. Interesting. Week by week making our changes. Yeah, Jamie, that's right. That's right. The like I said, I'm a pretty positive guy most of the time. Even if I have a bad year this year, I knew it was going to be a rough year. I knew I didn't know, I watched more content this year and probably did more study than any other year, and it still didn't help me. I knew I didn't know. You know what they say? The smartest people, they know that they don't know everything. And this year I certainly knew that I didn't know what was going to happen with the new rules, the rucks, I really and the opening round. I really didn't know. I could guess, I could crunch data, I could do whatever I like, I could ask other experts, but I knew that I didn't know. And it shows that I think right now it's only been one bye, but I think it's pretty much proven with the disasters of the trades and stuff. If we had gone in with non-bye players, say get rid of Walsh, get rid of Daicos. I've gone in with, instead of Walsh, I pick LDU. Instead of Daicos, I pick Jordan Dawson. Who else do we had? We would have had track no matter what. Track, we were super on track, so that's fine. Everyone got punished, and we had Rosie, so we got punished. But we would have had 2 more gun players last week, and we had gone in with 2 big rucks. We would have had, probably would have gone in with Sherry with his draw, and we would have got this captain score. I know it's a woulda, shoulda, coulda, but if this had been like last year, that's probably the team that I might have had. Now, next year, hopefully they give round 0 the big FO. Fortuitous offloading, maybe? Is that what that stands for? It better not be around 0 next year. If round 0 comes next year, I'm going to spit the dummy, not just because of Supercoach, but because of how unfair. I know a lot of people don't think it's unfair, but we already have the most unfair fixtured game in the world. No need to make it more unfair for some teams. And don't give me that shit about my team won. It's still unfair. If you ask any single player who's ever played AFL ever about match fitness and whether playing a game and working out their scenarios and working out their plans, and if they make mistakes, they'd be able to, alter it or something. It is a massive advantage to play a game before the other teams get to play a game at AFL level. In practice matches, we know don't count. So anybody who says that is not, I'm looking at you, Carolyn Wilson, you windbag, whinging and calling Justin Longmuir a sore loser for just giving his opinion for us to question. I'm not even a Freo supporter, and I'm willing to jump up and support him. It's blatantly obvious to everyone with 2 eyes how much of an advantage that round 0 is to the teams that get to play. Even if the Eagles were a competing team, there's no way I would expect them to be able to fly to Gold Coast and beat Gold Coast after Gold Coast had basically a warm-up game. It's just impossible. And Freo did a good job of trying, but, obviously Geelong had the practice game, whether they had the better legs or whether they managed to change their systems because they knew what was going on. Whatever it was, maybe they just outplayed Freo, but at the end of the day, it's still a massive advantage. Anybody who says it's not is just wrong. It's just wrong. It's like, I'm not an AFL player, but if you ask any AFL player, that's why they call it match fitness, right? A match fitness. That's why it's called match fitness. James Jackson's split wasn't on there. Yeah. Anyway, that's my little rant about round 0. But like I said, put it in the bag. What do you guys think of this? The forward line like this? It's not very nice for Myers in there, right? Much better to get Cook, take the money, get the cash gen. Like if Cook came out and got an 80 next week and Myers got a 90 and Cook cost 150 and Myers cost 500, I'd just cry, right? Then you'd really see me upset. Then I'd be really upset. Not at his price, yeah. 450, right? Target him at, and after we get the cheaper guys that can go big. I don't think Myers is a go big guy. He's a nice steady 90 to 110 in your forward line. Nice and steady. He's going to give you a reasonable forward score. He's not going to drop you too many like 50s or whatever. But I think, I think not for now. At 4, maybe, especially if you drop below 450, if you went down to 440 or something, I think he's a great pickup. But at 500, when you've got rookies like Marshall getting your 73s and Robertson get your 95s, I think we just take the cook. We'll have a cook in the kitchen. We'll have a cook in the kitchen. Like the idea of track Rosie and Sharp for Houston, Myers and Sherry. And 2 rookies on the mid-bench. For Worrell, missed 15k. Yeah. See, the thing is, I could forego a Sherry or a Jackson and get a Worrell this week and then pick up a Sherry and a Jackson next week. But their matchups are so good. They're so good this week. I could literally... and that's what I'm thinking. Right, we saw the people who captained Sherry this week. How many spots did they jump? Like, they had a reasonable team and they captained Sherry. Like, they were getting scores, the same type of scores, like 2,100s. That's what people were getting with a full team in the first week, and they were getting it in best 18. So, I don't think I'm willing to, dodge it. I don't think I can, skip out on that 2 rounds in a row. I think I have to pick one of them. And who's the other guys going? Oh, the other guy is Sharp. So, and yeah, we're going to move you up here, and we're going to get you, and we're going to get... We're going to get you. I think these will be the trades. Did you not want to give me Houston? But we'll have a bit more of a think about it. But I think if you watch my trade video tomorrow, that'll be my trades and helping other people out. I guess, what do you reckon, crew? So when I do my video, I should be telling people they need Murdoch. Out of the rookies, who can they skip? Do you need Carroll if you don't have Carroll? Well, Carroll's gone up now. Would you guys give me a yes or no, crew? Carroll at 159? Still worth it, or no, get out of here? He's got a break even of -11. It's going to go up another 26k. Job security, little bit shaky maybe. Absolutely not from Cheese. That's one absolutely not. Murdoch, Robertson, Marshall, Blemires. Is anyone saying Watkins? What if we see Ollie Wines in, Watkins still in the team? And with the injury report comes out and says Rosie's out for more than like 6 weeks, and our Bergman's out for like at least 3 or 4 weeks. Is Watkins almost a guarantee, a yes, you want him if you can get him? Because of the use. You have to miss on Watkins because of the useless Carroll. I mean, Carroll could still... It's not over for Carroll. He can still get some more scores, right? He's at a -11. So if he got a couple of 60 from now, he could get to... You could get up there, but he's not looking great at the moment. Bergman didn't play CBAs at all. Yeah, how many did he get? Let's have a look at that, crew. How many did he get? Milan, Murdoch. Yes, I just want to watch that game again. See who we... Power versus Bombers. All right, where are you, my friend, my Watkins friend? So, and CBAs, so overall he got 59% for the full game. Quarter 1, he got 50% even when they both weren't injured. Quarter 2, 50%. Quarter 3, 44%. And quarter 4, 82%. has got Wines coming back, though. When Wines comes back, he won't get... So he'll probably drop back down to the 50%-ish. But he got 50% right through. He shouldn't lose that. And he got a 74, 23 disposals, 5 marks, 4 tackles, couple of clangers. Is that what SA means in this one? 1 goal. Needed a goal to get to 74, which is a bit of a worry. Why is your score that low? 74%. You would think he should have a better score than this with a goal, 15 kick. In tackles, four tackles. It seems to be that his score should probably be higher, to be honest, than a 74. But yeah, I mean, I was the same. I wanted to pay up for security, and Sharp underperformed, and then he got injured. And I was like the same. I was like, should I get Watkins? I was like, no, he's just going to get dropped when Wines. But then no one could have predicted the injury carnage that we have. You know, no one could have predicted what's gone on in these first couple of rounds. That so many locked-in premiums of our teams would go down in the first couple of weeks. Hey, Alex, how are you? Sharp to Murdoch, Rosie to Houston, then Petrarca to McCluggage if he's back, or Max Holmes or Braden Cook. Yep, I'm doing... Yeah, I think that's fine. The only thing I would say with McCluggage, I love the pick, but he's got to be... You want to wait because he's going to be cheaper. You know, I mean... It would be a massive pod if you went McCluggage this week because everybody else is going to wait for him because he's got a 13 in his system. But he could, when he got that, you know, when he played the practice match, he was on 80 points at like quarter time. So he could score 160. So this week, he's got no price rise or anything. So if you get him this week, you know, he's got a 13 in his system. If he comes out and gets a 90, he gets 190, which you assume he's probably going to do better than that. He'll drop 75k. Say he gets like 110 and 110, he'll probably go down 50k. So you'll get him a bit lower than 600. 640 now. So I love the pick. I'm looking at it myself, but I really kind of hope that he gets to this price here, the 550 to 570 range, which is maybe wishful thinking because I can't see him get 190 unless they ease him back into it. I mean, if he comes back in and they play him on limited minutes, that'd be ideal for Supercoach, you know. So now they've got the 5 on the bench, maybe they can do that. Watkins was up against Essendon, which you also have to take that into account, pure. So are we saying... So I kind of agree with what you guys said. There is, it is Murdoch, Blamiers, Cook, Marshall. They're your 4 big ones. What about Grill? Oh, he's already gone. What about Grill? He's on the bubble too. He's got the DPP. He's got the role. It looks locked on. He looks like he has good job security. If you don't have Grill, should you be getting Grill? Should you be prioritising him as well? Could you go Rosie down to Grill if you don't have Grill? Worrell, Houston and Murdoch. Yeah, I like it, Jamie. Just keep an eye on the Worrell situation and make sure he's named and there's no little scares about his scan or whatever. They said he's fine, but I trust injury reports about as far as I can throw them a lot of the time. Or throw the doctors, which give them. Yeah. Yep. Cool. Good work, Jamie. And Jamie, you're good on how the captain works too now? All right. Yeah. What do we think on grill? Yep, you understand now. Good, that's good, mate. I'm glad I can help. I'm glad I can actually tell you something that I'm useful. Glad I'm useful for something. So giving Supercoach advice, maybe not. I did do a few good things, crew. I hope some people listened to me and said, don't get Caleb Sarong. I was trying to warn people that it could be up and down, and he got tagged and he was down, and it could be Brayshaw on any day or Luke Jackson get a day. I did not chase the points there, even though, like I said, it looked like I was chasing the Malera points. I didn't chase the Sarong points because I think he can be up and down, and he can be. I don't know if I really pointed out that I think he is the number one target at Freo, not Brayshaw, and good luck tagging Jackson. So, yeah, I did say that I preferred the Merritt pick, and Merritt didn't do awesome, but I think he was better than Sarong. Seano for Prime Minister. No, as I said to my friends in group chat, it's Milan Murdoch for Premier, and then he can be Prime Minister after a year. Milan Murdoch for Premier of Western Australia. Sure, you got it in Discord? Chuck it up in Discord, Mass. Oh, you want me to go through? I can find you, yes, because we're in the same league, aren't you? You said I'm playing you this week. Is that correct in the drafts? Did you say that I'm playing you in drafts this week? I remember we're. My league. Sean 01, I think. Review that. Oh no, that's your draft team. That's not going to help. We have to go in through the leagues this way. We have to go through the league this way. I'll make you a Nope. Are you in one of my normal leagues? Sean. I think there you go. There you are. Sinclair Clark came back. I hope nobody traded him out. That's good. Fonty, you got the money. Yep, cool. Windsor, 53. I guess we've all got. I got a Blackstone. You got a Windsor. We got problems. But that's probably, is that the least? This you've already done. No, you still got Track. You still got Rosie. Okay. So you got the same problems as everybody else. You've got Murdoch. You like me. You don't have Cook. It seems very similar. Oh, you got Gorn and Sherry. At least you got that locked away. Round 206. Very nice, Mass. Very, very nice round score. Caniglio came back and gave you another 100. It's going to make you some money, so that's nice. I've faded him, which I still don't mind the fact that I faded him, but it's still the Fonty Caniglio going to make you some money. Plus, overall ranking 2,500, 2,200. So you're in a great spot, really. So if I was you, I might even just save my, I'd be saving, wouldn't be boosting if I was you. I'd just maybe Petrarca down to Cook and Rosie for whoever you want. Basically, you could have whoever you want for Rosie. You can have a Holmes, depending on how much money you'll have as much money as you like if you went down. You can have a midfielder. You could potentially, you can't get him in the back line, but yeah, you can have whichever midfielder you want, basically. You're going to get Nick Daicos, nice. And you're going to get Houston for Lindsay. Yeah, looks nice, looks good. You got Walsh and Bruin come back. Yeah, you're going to have another very solid round, and you don't have many people out on this round either. You won't have Petrarca. You don't have Noah Anderson like me. You don't have Bont. So I would assume that you're going to hold or go up in your rank, Mass. I think they're very solid decisions. very solid and smart decisions. You're not having to use you are using a boost. I mean, Petrarca, Rosie, and Lindsay, Daicos, Houston, and Cook. Yeah, I could get behind it. I think using the boost, this is what kind of I wanted my backline to look like. You know, your backline will look a lot more solid. You'll only have one rookie on the field. Hopefully Windsor won't shit the bed again and come up with a better score for you next week. If not, you punt him next week for someone else, or, you know, if you don't have any bigger problems. You've got also the same as you got Caniglio another week. Then you can have a look at him when the buys come, maybe at 100. Looks like he's going to make you a little bit more money though. Yeah, it looks very solid. I'd be very surprised. You know, I assume you're going to do something like my captains as well. You're going to vice captain Sherry. Who's gone up against this week? Who does the Mr. Gorn play? Melbourne versus Carlton. Maybe Butters versus Eagles is better. Hey, Brad, how you going? Brad is in my league. One of my bragging friends. Doing very well, Brad. So far, I think you're ahead of me so far this year, Brad. So an overall score, well done. Not that that's hard to do. Thinking of going track to Murphy Reed. He is a Freo supporter, people. Brace yourself. He is a Freo supporter. I love Murphy Reed. The price, I think it's a reasonable pick. He might get DPP. Rosie to Houston and Sharp to Bruin. If you haven't got Bruin, that's another one. I should be writing them down actually. We have to tell people pretty much you want to get Bruin if you don't have Bruin next week as well. He's another one that's almost on the must-have list. I don't mind those. I think the Reed seems fine. I mean, he looks like he's going to get an 80 plus most weeks. You got all the rookies you're supposed to have, Brad. I assume you probably do. I could probably look at your team as well. Let's have a look at your team. Like I said, Mass, you've got a really good team. Do those trades, and you might even be in the top 500 or so next week with a bit of luck and a good captain choice match. You could be top 100 next week. As far as I'm looking at your team, you could have a very high score. Oh, you're just behind me, Brad. You're just behind me, just on percentage. So you said you're doing track to Murphy Reed, making some money. Murphy Reed's about 380, right? Rosie to Houston, same as me. Yep, hopefully it doesn't burn all us Rosie to Houston people. And Sharp to Bruin. You got Murdoch already. You got Cook. Did you start them or did you go early on them last week, mate? Did you start? Were you smart enough to start Murdoch, or did you have to get him in last week like I did? You got Holmes on the bench coming back. You got Daicos coming back. You got a strong midfield coming back. Sarong, yeah, poor Sarong. I just told everyone that I told people not to pick Sarong, but I know you're a Freo boy. He'll probably come back, get you another good score this week. I don't hate it. You've already got Clark there or paid you. Yeah, I think you look solid. Your team looks more solid than me. Dersma, you got Dersma as well. Started Cook, Murdoch last week. Good start, Cook. Good start. And it looks like Dersma's going to make you some money too. 88. I don't think he'll be the biggest. He's definitely not a must-have, but he's going to make you some money, and he's going to play every week, and he could get 100 one week, If he kicks a couple of goals, he loves smacking those goals from 50 metres. As an Eagles supporter, he can do that as much as he likes. When your midfield comes back, you've got Butters, Sarong, Daicos, Holmes, and Parrish with 3 rookies on the field, and they're all going to be the good rookies. See, this is why I like your team this way, Brad. You've got the good rookies in the midfield on the field, And when you get Houston, you're going to be down to only one rookie in the defense and the standard rookies, and you're Grundy in English. Yeah, I really like your team, Brad. I think your team's better than mine. I don't know who you got in flex, but if I could guess, could I try and guess who you got in flex here? Tanner Bruin in flex? Oh, no, you said you're getting Bruin, right? Not too sure who, just by looking at it, who might be in your flex position. But yeah, and you've teed it up well. Like, I don't know. The rookies at the beginning of the season in the midfield look bad. And all of a sudden, now they look good. It's like, what's going on? What happened? What happened to Seano's team? I'm okay, Andrew and flex. Yeah, could have guessed that. 2 out in the band. You got only 1, 2. You don't have many out this week either, mate. I assume you're going to score higher than me this week. And yeah, thankfully I'm not playing you in the leagues. I like your team. I assume that you will go up in price, in value, and yeah, and your overall rank as well, mate. So where are you? Ranked 20,000. We're right about the same. We're very, very close to the same rank. So, and you will surpass me next week. I am almost sure of it. Very nice, Brad. Very nice. This should be interesting. Our league should be interesting. Like I literally lost every league except our league, the important one last week. Lost this one. Like, it's got smashed. Got just beat. Like, look at how close these. 778 to 794. So close. 781. There's 3 points in this one to 1781. 1778 to 1788. 10 points in that one. And in my overall league, we never had a look at the overall league. In the overall league, the leader is this week. Still same leader as last week. 17 days. Overall rank 25. Congratulations, mate. Ab. That is a very, very nice overall rank, and he is the leader in the Seano Unlimited League by quite some margin. Well, not really. He's 130 points ahead. Just shows there's 900, 1,000. There's a few really top. And Mass, you're right up there. You are right up there as well in the top 6 of the Seano league. Bojangles, you're out there watching at the moment. There's some nice scores there, crew. A lot of in the top 10k, which is very nice. I dropped off, didn't I? Where am I now in this league? I dropped down to 55, pretty rough, and I'll probably drop a few more. Can't even make the top half of my own league. Poor Seano. In the Headspace League with the Swordplay boys, I dropped down a bit more now to 26 out of 52. Probably won't be winning any cash in that one. In Between the Arcs, 683 out of 2177. Again, dropped massive places. In the Lair League, I'm at 1998. Skodfather, 732. The Centrebaus boys, 132. And I got these couple of leagues down here, and I lost both of those as well. Poor old Dossie from the Lair League smacked me in this one. I want my picture. I want my ugly head instead of a shield. How do I get my... I tried getting my ugly head on a shield, and I couldn't do it. If you're still watching my ugly head, probably time to subscribe now and like the video. Don't forget, like the video. If you're watching this in the future... like the video, leave me a comment down below. Is there anything else we need to discuss, crew, or should Seano go and get some dinner? Does anyone else want to show their teams up on the post my team here section? Or does anyone else want to talk about anybody else? Tell me their trades or what I should be doing. Am I going to see Jacko or Sherry in the side? I want Sherry, but I want the money. Let's go back to the team. a big decision. It's a big decision, Shees. I think the uncertainty of Sean Darcy and whether Jackson's going to get DPP or not means I just pick Sherry. And the fact he's playing Blackiston and he's got this fixture that is like, this is the fixture that we all locked him in for at the beginning of the season. Like, obviously he had Port Adelaide West Coast. You know, he did what he was expected to do. So if he gets 128, this is kind of what's expected, right? He's not going to get 198, 99 too many weeks, too many times. There's not too many worse ruckmen than Flynn in the league. The only one that might be worse is Blackiston, because this is how scary this week is. I'm sorry for you Essendon supporters, but so Blackiston comes from the waffle. Blackiston couldn't even get a job at the Eagles, and the Eagles have been desperate for a ruckman for like the last 5 years. So if we're shopping and getting Flynn and we think Flynn is better than Blackiston, and Flynn just got pummeled by Sherry by 199 points, what's he going to do to Blackiston? That's why I've got the image in my head, you know, of the big brother sitting on the kid and he's waving on his arms like, get off me. And he's like, no. It's like, stop sitting on me. He's like, no. So that image is still in my head. If I could make an AI image of Sherry sitting on Blackiston, you know, not letting him up, that's what I would do. Why not both? Because I don't want to have a rookie that can score 100 on any week off the field. I can't have both. Not until McAndrew. Once McAndrew makes 400, goes up to 400k, Jackson gets DPP, I can have Jackson. Otherwise, I think even if the rucks are showing they're going to put out these big scores, I think I'll still be going for big mids, high, like the McCluggages and the Holmes and the Bailey Smiths and the Bonts and Richards, the mids that can put out the big scores over a third ruck in the flex. It's just takes away so much benefit of having the flex, to have three big rucks there locking it up, and especially maybe coming out of the buys, you could say it's more reasonable, but going into even the mid-season, no, I don't mean the early buys, I mean the mid-season buys. Coming out of the mid-season buys, I think it's reasonable to have three big rucks if you're going to make a run home, like, you know, you need to win some league matches, or you are pushing the top, 1,000 or 100 or top 10 or whatever you want to do, or the top one, you want to win the 50k. I think it's reasonable, but until that happens, I think I'm running these two, and as soon as McAndrew's made his money, I'm going to sell him for a midfielder, basically the best midfielder I can. When you think about it, yeah. Sorry to bring it up, Cheese, but I think it is going to be a bloodbath. And the fact that I've got Blackiston in my team, I'm going to be really happy if he reaches his break even of 43. I think I'm going to be happy. Just don't go down in money. That's what I'm asking. Don't get a 20. Like, surely not a full-time ruckman could ever get a 20, but, just run away from Sherry and hope somebody throws you the ball. When Sherry jumps, you just run the opposite direction and hope that one of your midfield snakes and gets you the ball. That's the plan for Blackiston. Yeah, that is correct too, Matty. I'm not too down. I have confidence in you guys and in myself that between us and some smart people here, I'm not including myself in the smart person thing, but we can drag our teams back up to, it might not be number one, it might not be a top 100, and it might not be top 1,000, but every year I aim for top 10%, and I think I can be at top 10% at the end of the year, even if I'm at 50 or 60,000 come out, maybe even higher, 70 or 80,000th place, come out of the early buys. It's not going to be easy, but I think we can all do it. And I think we need to yeah, we need to just know that teams aren't really, we don't really know what a good team looks like and what a good score is going to be until we come out till round 5. The top score in round 5 is really going to tell us. If somebody scores 3,000 in round 5, then you can say, oh crap, my team's not very good. If the top score coming out of round 5 is 2,600, and you're scoring 2-1, 2-2, 2-3s, you'll gain on a lot of people. Just to calm it down, as the legend, the Godfather says. That's right. We haven't seen his round review yet. I've been trying to check out a few of the other content creators' round reviews. A few of them are taking their teams and throwing them in the bin. Yes, no matter how bad we go, I will stay with you guys and girls all season. Doesn't matter if we're ranked 170. How many people in this competition? Doesn't matter if we're ranked 170,000 out of 177,000. We'll keep going, and but I'm pretty confident that myself and you guys here in chat, we can drag our teams up to, whatever's the pass mark for you. So, like I said, I'm at 12% now. I'd like to be at top 10% at the end of the season. Anything above that is a bonus. Anything below that, I'd be a little bit disappointed. But again, I think this is a weird season. You can be forgiven for having a bad season this season, long as we remember our mistakes for next season, and we don't make the same mistakes again. Like we did we do that? We kind of did this year, but not too bad. Yeah. So I think we do the best we can with the buys. We do the best we can with the injuries, and we try and drag our teams up as high as we can. And it's a game at the end of the day. You want to be happy. Yes, we're all disappointed when we don't get a big score, and I'm very disappointed when I lose my league matches. But at the same time, it's a game. It's not like, it's not as bad as when your actual team, gets pummeled like it did, like my team did last week. And well, it wasn't too bad actually. I have to admit, I'll give the Eagles a pat on the back. They did very well against Gold Coast, considering everything, not to lose by more, and they did amazing to win against North Melbourne, who I think are a better team at the current. Their rookies and that are further ahead than us, I would say, so they did very well. They did very, very well, and our Supercoach teams are the same. They can do well. Even a team that's a bit of a rookie team can do kind of well. All right, crew. I don't think there's much more to chat about. You guys have helped me out a lot. Once again, if you haven't already subscribed or you're watching this in the future, that helps me out a lot. Like I said, I jumped on today basically because I wanted to see if you guys needed help, and I knew that I needed help. And we'll be making the video tomorrow for the captains and the trade video. And you guys, I didn't do it this week in the round video because I was pushed for time. I was going out and I was pushed for time. Do you like my captain, oh captain?
Captain, my captain. Sit down, Mr. Anderson. Captain, my captain.
Why is the volume so low?
Mr. Anderson.
Do you like when I use the segment? So we have, that's for picking captains, and then we have the other one for screw you, you're fired.
Screw you, you're fired.
So I'll try and cut them in, but I was kind of busy and I didn't have time. And last time I did it, it took me forever, and so I just skipped it this week. But thanks for joining, Matty. Jamie, always glad to see you, mate. Anytime, mate. Even if I'm not live, buddy, just hit us up on Discord. Like I said, anyone can join a Discord. Not only me in the Discord, but there's lots of people out there to help. Mass, no problems. Well done again. Really hope that you put up another big score this week, and yeah, get right up there. You are definitely in the hunt for a really good season. So well done, Brad. I'll talk to you soon, mate. We'll see you at a footy night or a night out on the booze sometime. Pure, good to see you. Good luck to you too, Cheese. I'm sure I'll see a few of you crew around some other streams. I know some other people like to stream tonight, so if there's anybody else on, I'll probably pop by then and say g'day as well. Who else is out here? Alex Nunn, nice to see you. I'll try and reel off as many names as I can see here. Sorry if I missed your name. Steady, I want to call you Steady Eddie because he's a very funny comedian. But Jojo, Houston looks fitter this year. Oh yeah, I do remember reading that. Mr. VIP, good to see you, mate. Thanks for dropping by. Freddie, nice to see you, Freddie. Who else was here? Para, good to see you, Para. Hope everyone has a good week this week. And Scott Dean, good to see you, mate. Rory Joe, good to see you. Air Tommy, thank you for dropping by. Here's someone. Luke Turner, thanks for you for participating today. Ferrarini, one of these days you'll have to tell me how to say your name, but I'm just calling you Ferrarini like the player, even though I can tell that that's exactly not how your name is pronounced. Sleeping Jimmy. Yep, cool. I think that's everyone. If you said anything in chat and I missed you, thank you very much. Yes, I hope all our teams put up a fight this week. I don't think the Eagles can do it 2 weeks in a row, but I'm going to use a little bit of let's do this just like I did on the on my message to my friends. I'm going to say there's no chance of the Eagles winning this match, and maybe they won't pay. Maybe they'll win just to spite me. So maybe that'll happen. Anyway, crew, thanks everybody. I hope everybody has a great day. Please check out my captains and trades videos and give that one a like and give this one a like. And yeah, I'll talk to you all again very soon. See you then.